The grand chamber of the Galactic Senate on Coruscant glittered with countless stars and shimmering crystals. Representatives from every known civilization filled the chamber, each unique in appearance. Some towering with majestic wings, others slithering gracefully with iridescent scales. All were here for one purpose: to review uncontacted worlds, an event that shaped intergalactic destinies. Loki, a junior analyst from the planet Asgard, adjusted his golden robes nervously. It was his first major presentation, and under the penetrating gaze of the silver-skinned Chancellor Palpatine, he felt his confidence waver. Next system, Sol, third planet. Chancellor Palpatine announced, his ancient eyes twinkling with distant starlight. Taking a steadying breath, Loki stepped onto the central dais. The hologram flickered behind him, projecting an image of a vibrant blue and green planet. Esteemed members, Loki began cautiously, my findings on Sol 3, locally called Earth, present an unusual paradox. Soft murmurs rippled through the Senate as the hologram displayed Earth's orbit, scattered with rudimentary satellites and one modest space station. As you can observe, Earth lacks meaningful orbital defenses, primitive satellites, minimal weaponry, and no detectable shield technology. By all accounts, this planet should have been easy to conquer or at least contacted by now, Loki explained, prompting laughter from a few delegates. Yet, he raised one hand, silencing them. Curiously, Earth has remained untouched for 3 centuries. Every reconnaissance attempt concludes identically. Non-intervention strongly advised. All detailed records are sealed under the highest authority. A hush fell across the chamber. Chancellor Palpatine leaned forward, eyes narrowing slightly. You have accessed classified archives? Only superficially, Chancellor, Loki admitted. But there's something uniquely disturbing about these humans. They fantasize endlessly about defeating advanced alien invasions, and astonishingly, they always triumph. Intrigued whispers filled the air. Chancellor Palpatine nodded slowly. Then perhaps we require a closer look. Loki's heart soared. Allow me to lead a covert observation mission to Earth. Using our latest cloaking technology, we can uncover why no civilization dares approach. Palpatine studied him, expression unreadable, before finally consenting. Proceed cautiously, Analyst Loki. No direct contact. Within weeks, Loki commanded the stealth vessel Odyssey. The ship glided silently into Earth's orbit, invisible to human eyes. Beside him stood his elite team, Leia, a xenosociologist whose sharp eyes missed nothing, Thrawn, a military genius from the Chiss ascendancy, and Tony Stark, the brilliant engineer known for innovative solutions. As Earth appeared before them, Leia whispered, such beauty, hiding such mystery. Commence scans, Loki ordered. Soon, data flooded in, confirming Earth's primitive technology, but raising more questions than answers. They're armed with basic chemical weapons and ballistic projectiles, Thrawn reported. Negligible threat. Yet, they broadcast endless imagery of heroic victories against vastly superior enemies, Leia observed, intrigued by Earth's entertainment streams. It's like their culture thrives on challenge and defiance. Loki frowned, unsettled. Deploy observation drones. Let's see humans firsthand. Days passed, bringing baffling discoveries. Footage showed humans voluntarily rushing into violent storms, risking everything to save strangers. They trained obsessively through realistic simulations, repeatedly imagining victories against unbeatable odds. They don't merely hope to survive, Thrawn muttered darkly. They believe victory is their destiny. Leia nodded, her eyes thoughtful. Their strength isn't technological, it's psychological. They endure unimaginable hardship and grow stronger. Stark's voice broke the silence. Then let's dig deeper. What's hidden in Earth's past? Accessing restricted archives, they uncovered astonishing truths. 3 major invasions had occurred over centuries, each ending disastrously for alien attackers. The formidable Skrull Empire lost entire fleets mysteriously. The aggressive Kree warriors vanished completely. Most shockingly, just decades ago, 5 advanced Sith destroyers inexplicably disappeared without a trace after reaching Earth's orbit. Suddenly, an alarm shattered their focus. The satellite. Stark shouted urgently, pointing to a small object now inexplicably altering its trajectory directly toward them. Impossible, breted. Our stealth technology is flawless. Evasive maneuvers, Loki commanded, his voice tense. But the satellite relentlessly followed, its primitive propulsion somehow countering every advanced maneuver. Realizing escape was futile, Loki ordered a retreat behind Earth's moon. The crew exchanged troubled glances, hearts pounding with newfound respect and fear. They knew exactly where we were, Leia whispered, and they waited until we accessed the archives. We need deeper intel, Loki decided firmly. Send infiltration drones disguised as humans. Days later, chilling truths emerged. Humans evolved uniquely. Predators who hunted by outlasting prey, thriving in harsh climates and recovering from injuries that would devastate any other species. Their technological advancement was accelerating exponentially, propelled by internal conflicts rather than hindered by them. They've already developed weapons that can annihilate their planet, Stark grimly noted. But they've held back from using them. Loki paled. Humans aren't vulnerable. They're terrifyingly resilient. Leia showed simulation after simulation, each ending identically. Every alien invasion galvanized humans into unprecedented unity, swiftly developing effective countermeasures. Adversity doesn't break them. It perfects them, Leia explained. Their greatest strength emerges precisely when defeat seems inevitable. An alert suddenly flashed across the monitors. One infiltration drone had been captured at a secret facility in Nevada. Loki acted immediately, cloaking himself personally and descending stealthily to Earth's surface. Sneaking into the facility, he discovered Earth's darkest secret. Inside were alien technologies from previous invasions meticulously analyzed, reverse-engineered, and enhanced. Humanity was quietly constructing its own advanced starships, hidden behind the facade of primitive tech. Stunned, Loki read a strategic plan labeled Operation Trojan Horse, revealing humanity's readiness not merely to defend, but to retaliate against aggressors, striking at their home worlds. They aren't preparing for defense, he whispered, fear pulsing through his veins. They're preparing for interstellar war. Returning hastily, Loki briefed his team. Before they could act, human satellites surrounding their ship revealed concealed weapon systems, broadcasting a calm, assured human voice. We've always known you were here. Leave peacefully, and peace you'll have. Attached was a data packet with coordinates. The precise location of Thrawn's secret Chiss homeworld, a planet supposedly unknown to outsiders. They've already traveled beyond their system, Leia gasped softly. They've been watching us, too. Loki, heart pounding, made a swift decision. We retreat. We must warn the Senate. Weeks later, standing again in the Galactic Senate, Loki revealed Earth's hidden truth. Shock reverberated throughout the chamber. Earth is a trap, he warned emphatically. Attacking them would ignite their evolution into an unstoppable force. Palpatine nodded gravely, declaring Earth immediately a sovereign interstellar power. Loki was promoted for his critical discovery and tasked with initiating diplomatic contact. Returning cautiously to Earth aboard his new diplomatic vessel, Loki found the skies suddenly shimmering as hundreds of hidden human starships, uncloaked, surrounding him with overwhelming force. Welcome back, Ambassador Loki, a calm, confident human greeted him. We're glad the galaxy chose diplomacy. As Earth's fleet gently escorted him toward the surface, Loki finally understood. Humanity had never been defenseless. They'd always been the galaxy's greatest secret, masters of resilience and cunning, eternally underestimated, forever prepared. And now, at last, everyone knew why no one survived attacking Earth. The diplomatic shuttle descended through the thick blue atmosphere of Earth, escorted by a formation of sleek, silent human ships that looked nothing like the primitive vessels depicted in public galactic files. These were smooth, predatory in design, each one humming with quiet, barely contained power. Loki sat still in his seat, staring out the window, not with fear, but with deep, consuming awe. Any regrets? Leia asked softly, her voice calm but cautious. No, Loki replied. Only questions. As they cleared the clouds, the sprawling city below came into view. New Geneva, according to the data brief they had received. It was a marvel of human architecture. Green rooftops layered with solar collectors, elevated rail lines gliding silently, and towering skyscrapers wrapped in chrome and glass. But what caught his attention most was what wasn't there: no turrets. No surface-to-space guns. No obvious defenses at all, still playing the part. Thrawn muttered or Loki thought. They simply didn't need to play anymore. They landed in a quiet courtyard surrounded by marble statues and reflecting pools. The air was cool, touched by wind and birdsong. Waiting for them was the same human ambassador who had greeted them in orbit, a man in a tailored black suit, standing calmly with a small entourage of humans behind him. He looked harmless, polite, but his eyes, those human eyes, held centuries of calculation behind them. "Welcome to Earth," the man said with a friendly smile. "My name is Steve Rogers. I'll be your liaison." Loki exchanged glances with Leia and Thrawn before stepping forward and offering a formal bow. "We are honored by your welcome, Ambassador Rogers." The human chuckled. "No need to be so formal. You've been watching us long enough. You know we prefer straight talk." He turned and motioned for them to follow. "Cool, mate. There's something you'll want to see." As they moved deeper into the facility, more like a park disguised as a research center, Rogers casually waved his hand and spoke. "We're not what you expected, are we?" "No," Loki admitted. "You are more." Rogers nodded. That's what the Dravkari said before they disappeared. He led them into a large dome structure. Inside, holograms flickered to life, displaying alien ships, DNA samples, schematics, and timelines. On one wall, Loki saw a familiar symbol, the emblem of the Galactic Council, marked with various colored pins connected by glowing threads. "You mapped our council," Leia whispered. "We did," Rogers replied. "Every time one of you tried to sneak a drone into our system or send a cloak scout, we learn a little more. You taught us a lot about yourselves." "And we taught you nothing," Thrawn said. "Oh, you taught us the most important lesson," Rogers said, turning to face them. "That when the galaxy thinks you're weak, you get time to become something more. You get time to study your enemies, to prepare, to become the thing they never saw coming." A silence stretched between them. Then Loki asked what had been on his mind since the moment they discovered Earth's secret strength. "Why not attack first?" Rogers raised an eyebrow. "Why would we? We don't want your worlds. We don't need your resources. And we sure don't want your wars." He stepped closer. "We want peace. We always have. But we've also learned, if peace isn't offered, we'll build it ourselves. With steel, with fire, with precision." Leia swallowed hard. "You were never going to let anyone conquer you." Rogers looked at her, then smiled faintly. "We were never going to let anyone try more than once." A moment later, a new voice crackled over the intercom. "Ambassador Rogers, the Andari delegates have arrived." "Perfect timing," he said. "Follow me. You're not the only ones making first contact today." They were led into a massive amphitheater, a stunning chamber carved into a natural cliff overlooking the ocean. Dozens of representatives from species Loki had never even seen before were present. Most were looking toward the humans, clearly uneasy, clearly unsure. Some were visibly shaken. "You invited everyone?" Loki asked, stunned. "Not everyone," Rogers said. "Just the ones who sent spies." The chamber fell silent as Rogers took the podium at the center. "My name is Steve Rogers," he announced. "And this is Earth. We know many of you came here expecting to find a broken, divided, defenseless world. Some of you already tried to take it." He let the silence linger. "You failed." He didn't raise his voice. "He didn't need to. You failed because you didn't understand us. You still don't. You saw tribes in conflict and chaos. But that chaos is our crucible. It forges something you don't have names for yet. Resilience, imagination, fire." He gestured to the crowd. "So now you have a choice. You can continue trying to spy, to steal, to prepare for a war you will lose, or you could talk to us. Trade with us. Learn with us." A pause. "But you will do so with respect." And that was it. No threats. No ultimatums. Just a simple truth. Later that night, Loki stood outside, watching the stars shimmer over Earth's sky. Leia joined him, quiet as ever. "We were wrong," she said. "We were lucky," Loki replied. Thrawn stood beside them, arms crossed. "I once believed no species could weaponize hope." He turned toward Earth. I was wrong, too. Far above them, Earth's hidden fleet remained cloaked again, invisible to the rest of the galaxy. They didn't need to show their power anymore, because now the galaxy understood you don't attack Earth and survive. You don't provoke humanity without awakening something ancient, adaptive, and relentless. And if you do, they won't just defend their world, they'll change, they'll grow stronger. And then they'll win. Every time. Weeks passed. Earth's embassy in the Galactic Council was under construction, an imposing but elegant structure carved from obsidian and tempered glass, designed by both Terran and alien architects. Its blue banners, bearing a simple symbol of a planet encircled by an olive branch and a sword, now fluttered across major interstellar channels. The message was clear: Earth had arrived, not as a problem to be solved, but as a power to be reckoned with. Loki's promotion to Earth Senior Liaison kept him busy. Every morning, his datapad was filled with messages from curious civilizations that had once mocked Earth's simplicity, now scrambling to offer treaties, trade deals, cultural exchanges. Delegations once eager to conquer were now desperate to cooperate. Still, something didn't sit right. Have you ever wondered, Leia said one night over the glowing gardens of the council capital, how many of these worlds had the same chance Earth did, but never made it? Loki looked at her, puzzled. Earth is chaos held together by will. It shouldn't work. By every metric in the council's database, humanity should have imploded centuries ago. But they didn't. They built something out of fire and fear and failure. He nodded slowly. They're the statistical anomaly that keeps surviving despite the odds. But it's more than numbers, isn't it? Leia turned toward the sky. It's their stories. Loki raised an eyebrow. They tell stories where they lose everything, families, cities, even the whole world, and then they get up anyway. They imagine impossible survival scenarios and then live by those blueprints. Most species use fantasy to escape reality. Humans use it to train for it. Loki smiled. We studied their weapons and biology. We should have studied their myths. Down on Earth, preparations were being made for something bigger. The Council had agreed to let Earth host the next Summit of Unity, a rare full assembly of all galactic powers. It had never been held on a Level 2 planet before, but Earth had earned that right. More than that, it had claimed it. When the delegates arrived weeks later, they were greeted not with military fanfare or pageantry, but with art, sculptures of ancient Terran philosophers and visionaries. Holograms showing Earth's rise not through domination, but through survival. And everywhere, that same balance, strength and grace, technology and tradition. The opening ceremony, a young human named Talia, barely 20, took the stage. She wasn't a general, nor a scientist. She was a storyteller. I know you're all wondering why Earth, of all places, is hosting this summit, she said. We don't have the biggest ships or the most advanced minds, but we do have something else. She paused, looking directly at each species present. When the worst happens, we don't collapse. We rebuild. We argue, we fracture, we fall. But we always get back up. That's what makes us dangerous. And that's what makes us valuable. She smiled softly. Because one day, this galaxy will face something none of us are ready for. Something bigger than war or politics. And when that day comes, you'll want Earth at your side. The silence in the room was different this time. Not fear, not tension, respect. When the summit concluded, dozens of species signed new mutual defense pacts with Earth, many of whom had once plotted against it. The balance of power had shifted, not because humans demanded it, but because they had become undeniable on the flight back to Coruscant. Loki sat with Thrawn, sipping a bitter Asgardian drink and watching Earth shrink in the viewport. They never wanted to be part of the Council. Thrawn said, "No," Loki agreed. They just didn't want to be alone when the galaxy finally understood what was coming. Thrawn raised an eyebrow. You think something's coming? Loki stared into space for a long time before answering. I don't know, but I think they do. He tapped a file on his datapad, something Rogers had quietly handed him before departure. It contained no threats, no demands. Just a single encrypted message with one line of text. We saw them too. They're watching the edge of the void. When they move, we'll move. Loki didn't know what it meant. But Earth did. They always did. And this time, the galaxy would follow them.